crowd. All right, let's talk about politics today. How many of you remember President Tilden? How about President Gore? Remember President Hillary Clinton? Of course you don't. Because even though they won the popular vote, they still didn't become president of the United States because they did not have enough electoral votes to win the presidency. Now, some people may say that the Electoral College is an antiquated and it's an unnecessary function of our electoral process now. But in actuality, it is still very necessary when it comes to giving states the proper representation when it comes to the presidential elections. What is the Electoral College? According to USA.gov, the Electoral College is a mechanism that was established by the U.S. Constitution for an indirect election of the President and Vice President of the United States. Now, the Electoral College is actually pretty simple to understand once you know what the guidelines are. Each state chooses electors corresponding to the 435 representatives and 100 senators that they have. The way the Electoral College works is during the presidential election, you have to have 270 or above electoral votes to be elected President of the United States. If a candidate does not receive the 270 electoral votes, the vote will go to the House of Representatives, and they would select the President and the Vice President of the United States. Now, the United States is what is called a federal coalition that consists of component states. And an easy description of that is it's 50 individual governments that make up the entire of the United States. Now, there have been 4 exceptions in history where a candidate who has won the popular vote has not won the electoral vote. The first time was in 1876, happened again in 1888, happened in 2000, and most recently, our last presidential election in 2016. Now, there's been arguments both ways. Should we abolish the Electoral College? Should we keep the Electoral College? And each side, they have valid viewpoints on that. Those who want to abolish the Electoral College think we should go to a popular vote, a one-man, one-vote type of system, and eliminate the winner-take-all electorates in the Electoral College. Arguing to keep the system as it is, one of the main functions, and we'll look at this in a minute, is it prevents what's called an urban-centric victory. Also maintaining the Electoral College, it helps maintain the federal character of the nation. Again, this is the 50 states under one banner of the United States of America. Each state has its own unique needs and its own unique wants from the federal government, which is why each state should have representation. What we run into if we don't have the Electoral College is you get states that have a disproportionate voting power. Some states, obviously with larger populations, are going to have more votes in the Electoral College. I'll give an example. This was prepared by Quinnipiac University, and this is a chart that shows there are 42 states in the United States whose total population is less than Los Angeles County in California. Think about that for a minute. One county has more people than the entire population of all these states. Now, if you look at the state breakdown from our last election, it'll kind of give you an idea what we're talking about with the Electoral College. This was prepared by Real Clear Politics, and this shows the breakdown of states in the 2016 election. The states in red voted for the Republican candidate, and the states in blue voted for the Democratic candidate. As you can see, if you look at the number of states, you've got this wide swath of red, and you've got the blue, which is in the high population areas. Now, to give you an example, in 2016, Hillary Clinton made exactly 0 campaign appearances in the state of Wisconsin. She lost the state of Wisconsin, and that was the first time a Democratic candidate had lost Wisconsin since 1984. Now, there are scenarios where a candidate could win the major metropolitan areas, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and a couple states in between, and actually have more popular votes than somebody who would have won 40 plus states. The problem you have with that is those urban areas, obviously their needs are coming first to the candidate, and the rest of the country, their needs appear to be secondary. By giving each individual state a say in the election of the president, the Electoral College assures that the president has each state's interest in mind, not just the large urban areas. Now, although the electoral process is considered, like I said, it's considered antiquated, we still need to have this because we have to have the balances in place to make sure that the candidates are going to listen to each state, they're going to campaign at each state, and they're going to hear what the people have to say. Because let's face it, the president is the president of the United States of America, not just the United Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, the large cities. It takes into account everybody from the farmers to the businessmen, from the finance committee to the tech committee. Anybody who casts a vote is going to have their voice heard. What I'd like everybody to do, and I urge you, go ahead, research the Electoral College. I think you'll see once you read this, you'll get a different viewpoint of what the Electoral College does and how important it is to our government. Thank you.